So what is the definition of success? What does success mean to you? So successful relationships, successful finances, a successful job, or friendships? We have this notion that success looks like a long-term situation. Success looks like millions of dollars in your account. Success looks like having the same friendship group that you've had since you were in school. And yet, we're living in a time that's so constantly changing, so transient, full of movement, and yet we're not taking a step back to redefine something as important as our idea of success. So to start, I guess we have to strip it back to where your belief of success comes from. Did your parents create a belief inside of you that things are supposed to be a certain way? Was it history? Was it your teachers? Was it Disney movies? It could be anything that has created a belief inside your mind that now affects your expectations of yourself and the success that you have in your life. So we really need to think about how we can change what success means to you. And to do that, I guess we've got to decide, what do we want our lives to be about? What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to feel like? And how can you communicate your idea of success to get the best results? We see so many people who are successful these days, and we don't actually see the journey that they have taken to get to that point, and the different mindsets that they've had to adopt to really be able to succeed and to thrive and to really drive their ideas and their vision forward in any arena. They've had to deal with failure over and over again, and find new ways to work through that failure, to be successful even in failure. I could talk about success in any one of those subjects, but I really wanted to focus on our idea of a successful relationship. Us who have grown up in this new age where technology is slowly but surely making us a lot more online rather than like in line with each other. And we now have a very different way of dealing with our personal relationships. And our personal relationships can be romantic, they can be friendships, but they can also be our relationships with our co-workers. And how do we define success in that arena? Do we define it from that idea of a Disney movie where it's happily ever after? Do we define it by watching our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our parents and what success looked like in their relationship? Or could we perhaps define it in a new way? Could we perhaps define success as a feeling that we feel, whether we feel it for a day, a month, 10 years, 50 years? Why does there have to be this time frame on success? Why does there have to be this idea that we have to slug it out and make someone else happy in order to be able to have success in any relationship? We first have to have success in the relationship with ourselves. We have to be prepared for the failure that we're going to face when we are triggered by someone else, when we're upset by someone else, when someone else says or does something that doesn't align with us who we love. We need to be prepared to understand our own process and be able to throw ourselves into that discovery. Abraham Hicks says the best marriage vows are, I like you pretty good, let's see how it goes. And that really should be it. Our partner should be someone who is just this extra thing, this extra wonderful person that you get to do life with. Maybe not even full time. You just get to go on this journey together. This journey of your own self-discovery, of your own peeling back of all the layers, and to be able to look at each other and go, I need a minute. I'm gonna go over here and do my thing and figure this out. And come back with your cup full. Come back feeling empowered in yourself. Rather than us putting all of our needs and our wants and our desires and our request for happiness from this external force, this external person that we have no control over, and we shouldn't have to put that responsibility on each other. And yes, of course, relationships do require a fair amount of responsibility. You want to be there for your partner, and you want to be there in that supportive light, but how can you be that if you do not feel that within yourself? How do we get from there to here? How do we get from that old idea of success to this new idea of success? And it's really about taking that responsibility in yourself. It's really about checking in and being like, is this relationship serving my higher purpose? What am I becoming because of this relationship? Am I becoming more of myself, more love, more generosity, more kindness, more excitement? Or am I becoming less? Commit every day to making sure you're okay first, to have rituals and routines that light you up first, and you might have to let go of people and situations that do not support your vision, that do not support your idea of success, because you have to understand that not everyone's going to understand the things that you've got to do to help yourself. All have our own traumas and pain and past at some stage, whether we like it or not. One experience or 10 from the past are going to surface, and most likely it's our partners who are the ones who trigger it. And yeah, it can suck having to take the responsibility on yourself. It can suck having to realize that it's your issues that are being triggered and not something that someone else is purposely doing. But isn't that also empowering? Something arises and you just want to bite their head off, that you could just step away and take some time. And imagine if both people were doing that. Imagine if both people were honest about who they are and what they need, filling their own cup, constantly heading towards their own mountains, and just walking side by side. How incredible would it be if we could all meet each other on that level? It's a simple idea, but I don't think it's a small one. So success in the end is not defined by money or assets. It's defined by the person that we are and the values that we have. Only we are the masters of our own fate, and we get to decide what success looks like for us, what success is going to look like when we create it. And how awesome is that to be present with what is, to cultivate an idea of what you want things to become, and then let go of how they're going to come to pass. Because if we are so attached to how things are supposed to look or feel or seem to us and to others, then we get so stuck in the story of what it's supposed to be, instead of deciding what success in our relationships, in our friendships, in our workplace means, looks like, feels like to us. And therein lies my thought of success and defining success. If you like this video, please give it a share and a subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace. See you soon.